Peated Islay versus Peated Highland. Two peated whiskeys from different regions in Scotland. How will they match up? Well, today I'm going to compare their noses, palates, finishes, and values, so we'll find out. The Islay today is Ardbeg 10 and the Highland is Ballechin 12. Ardbeg is 46% alcohol, Ballechin is 57.8% alcohol. Ardbeg is peated at 55 ppms, Ballechin is 50 ppms. Ardbeg 10 spent 10 years in ex-bourbon, while Ballechin 12 spent 12 years in oloroso sherry. Alright, see how these guys compare. Okay, time to compare two peated whiskeys. If you know me, I love peat, so I thought today I would compare a non-traditional peated whiskey and a traditional peated whiskey together. I'm going to start with comparing the nose, see which one I like better, so get right into it. And we'll start with the older one, Ballechin 12. Right away, those oloroso sherry really goes in there. Really briny and sweet at the same time, but not a lot of smoke. Saw my review, put it up here. I don't get a whole lot of peat on the nose here, but it is very briny, super briny, seaweedy, fruity, like dark red fruits, some caramel and vanilla. It is a really sweet, really good nose. Now the Ardbeg 10 is probably going to be a little more smoky. Ooh. Going from the sweet one to the ex-bourbon one, it's crazy. Very, very wood spicy with the bacon, briny, meaty notes you get here and a lot of smoke. This is a much more punchier nose. They are both really good noses, and it's difficult. Like, they're both peated, and I do love my peat, so it's hard to say which one I like more. This is the traditional Islay. This is going to be your smoky, briny one. This is a non-traditional. This is a Highland peated in oloroso sherry. Definitely a much sweeter profile. But if I'm gonna go, I want to get a peated whiskey, I'm gonna give the edge to the Ardbeg just because that is exactly what I'm looking for. This is a fantastic nose, but if I'm thinking just based on what do I get out of a peated whiskey, this is what my mind always goes to. Just spicy, salty, meaty, smoky, just a big punch into your nose. Only a slight lean here, but this is still very good. Okay, palate time. I'm gonna start with the Ardbeg 10. Ballechin 12 is 57.8% alcohol. This one's 46. Go with this one first. The 55 to 60 ppms on here really just goes right into your tongue. It's very sooty and oily, and it just coats the mouth really quickly. So all of that peat goes right around your mouth. It goes really quick. Again, a lot more like sausagey bacon, like meat fat on there, a lot of smoke, very briny. This is like, you open your mouth at the end of the beach, the tide come in, all that salt water, so much of that on the very first sip, and it's only 46% alcohol, but it drinks much more punchy than that, and that's what I love about some of these like traditional Islas. Ardbeg 10, it's 46%, but it's like, it almost tastes cask strength, seriously. Yeah, that's just what you always think of an Islay. It is just fantastic. And that second sip had a little more oak spice to it, a little bit of tobacco, and a slight bit of coffee tinge. It's a great Islay, and if you haven't had Ardbeg 10 yet, please go do it. Now over here, Peated Highland, only about 50 ppms, so not too much less ppms, but the oloroso sherry is going to cover a lot of that smoke, so let's see how much. My goodness. Biggest thing is the body. This is a very oily whiskey. This is a super viscous, syrupy whiskey, and it almost gets stuck in your throat when you swallow. But that finish, because it is so much more alcohol, it's 11% more, it just digs itself right into your tongue, and all of that red, sweet caramel fruit, it's just taking root and like, hey, I am here for a long time. This is such a sweeter experience, but you do get a lot of that smoke heat. Even while I'm talking, it's coming out of the back of my throat while I talk and just like coats the tongue a little more while you're talking. It is an actual super powerful drink. It actually helps carry smoke through more because of the cask strength. Whereas over here, the raw ppms help it, but over here, it's the ABV. And I like that dichotomy here. This is a really great experience doing both back to back. But I'm just gonna say, this one over here is just a much fuller experience because of its cask strength and because it's oloroso sherry. Over here, this is your standard Islay offering. It is still very good. This might be crazy for me to say, but at least right now, because I went back from here to this one, I'm going to give the palate edge to here. I still get all of that peaty, really smoky notes I want from an Islay, but you guys also know I love my oloroso, and that sweet really carries through, and it lingers so long because of that cast strength. So I'm going to give the palate edge to the Ballechin here. This is still an incredible Islay, especially because it's like 55 bucks, but slight edge to this one. Let's go see what the finish is. So I realized I just had this one and then this one, so doing the finishes probably won't make a lot of sense. But since I have had experience with both these whiskeys separately, I'm going to say this. This one has more ppms, and it does layer itself in because it's so oily and it goes around your entire mouth. It does linger, and it's really good finish, and that smoke sits and just reminds you, hey, you just had an Islay sip, it's going to be here for a couple of minutes. Over here, because it's cast strength and a little less ppms, but it's so viscous, it just sets itself into your tongue, and it lasts a long time just because of that fact. And both of these let you just pull those flavors off your tongue over the course of a few minutes after each sip. And that's really awesome. I love the finishes where you get the long lasting, and because it lasts long, you get those extra flavors. So you end up drinking it slower and you just get to keep your whiskey longer, hopefully, because this one is way more expensive than this one. So we'll get into that when we get into the value. But right now, I'm going to give the finishes a tie. It's very hard to compare these two because they are made differently. Lower ABV, higher ABV, higher ppms, low ppms. So I'm gonna give them a tie on that. Okay, value time, $190, like $55. Probably a no-brainer here. I'm gonna pick this one every day of the week. I mean, 55 bucks for an extremely good Islay offering that is always easy to find over a very well-crafted whiskey that's 190 bucks. And Edradour is an incredibly small distillery, especially when you compare it to something like Ardbeg. So with that, the availability is a lot lower, so the prices go up. So $190, $55. This is a great whiskey. If you want to splurge on a good peated whiskey and not go just straight to Islay and just have a different experience, boom, Ballechin is great, especially because the Highland profile is going to give you a little more grainies and fruit, whereas the Islay is not going to. So if you like both smoke and fruit, bam, just go right to here. Want a traditional peated experience? Take a run with Ardbeg 10. Starts for $55. Super easy to find, and that is a great price point, I think, for stuff that you can just have neat all the time. So there you have it. Ardbeg 10 versus Ballechin, Peated Highland versus Peated Islay. It was fun comparing these two whiskeys back to back and not cleansing and getting those different flavors on the nose and the palate just right away. It was a really fun process. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like these video styles, let me know. If you have two whiskeys you want me to compare, let me know in the comment below. If you're not subscribed yet, consider doing so. See you guys next time.